Today we're going to be talking about seeds. Seeds can be your title if you're writing this in your notebook. All right, so first we need to talk about what a seed is. A seed is a plant embryo, so a baby plant with a food supply and a protective coat. We'll talk about the different parts here. This is a close-up, and you can actually see the little baby plant inside of that seed, or here, little baby plant inside of the seed. So we're going to talk about parts of a seed. I have this diagram for you. It's in the note packet, or you can just grab it from me if you're writing in your notebook tomorrow. So the outside is the seed coat, also called the testa. You're familiar with seed coats. If you eat sunflower seeds, you don't eat the coat a lot of times. You have lots of different types of seeds you might be familiar with, like if you eat pumpkin seeds. If you look at certain types of beans, they have an outer shell on them. So the seed coat is just that outside. It's kind of just a protective layer. The large area here is all food storage. So remember, plants or seeds are underground. And because seeds are underground, they don't get sunlight. They're not doing photosynthesis yet. So they need to have food so that they can use energy to grow their roots and their shoots. And so they have a source of starch. And so this whole big area of the seed is all just filled with starch to provide nutrients to the little embryo. And this is called the cotyledon. And these two big areas are actually going to become little leaves on the plant. So when we were talking about those little leaves, right, the source of starch here, okay, they eventually become little leaves. So the radicle here is the root. On our diagram, it's just the bottom part of this little plant embryo, and the root is going to come out of the seed coat first. So we see the root coming out, and then eventually it will start growing upwards. So radicle, root. Now we have the stem. There's two parts to the stem. So we're just going to label like the middle part and then the top part. So the hypocotyl, hypo means below or under. This is the lower part of the stem. Remember I said these big cotyledons are going to become leaves? Well, the hypocotyl is below the cotyledon leaves. So this is just the part of the stem here. And then the upper part of the stem is going to be called the epicotyl. And remember, we've learned about epidermis. Epi means over, on top of, or above. We have it on our diagram just as the top part right here. All right, so now we're going to talk about germination. Germination is when the seed starts actively growing. It's not dormant. So I have a couple questions here. You don't have to write down any answers in your notes or anything. So my first question is, will a seed germinate without dirt? Have you ever done that experiment where you put seeds in a paper towel and you like put them in a Ziploc bag, and the paper towel's moist, and you get germinated seeds? So seeds don't actually need dirt to germinate. So this is no. We're trying to figure out, what do seeds need to germinate? Well, it's not dirt. They can germinate without dirt. So let's talk about our next thing. What about if I put seeds in a freezer? You think they'll germinate? They most likely are not going to germinate. So plants, in order to germinate, probably need the right temperature. They won't do it if it's super, super cold. How about without sun? Take a look. The seed is underground. It doesn't need sunlight, right? Because it's underground. So sunlight's not something that it's going to need to germinate. So far we only have temperature. So let's take a look then. What does a seed actually need for germination? First thing it needs is water. The water's going to break down this seed coat and allow it to pop out of there. This is why if we keep, let's say, like kidney beans are seeds. We keep dry kidney beans in our pantry. They're not going to sprout on us. They don't have any water. They also need oxygen. The reason they need oxygen is to do cellular respiration, right? To make energy. Oxygen and sugar to make energy. So water, oxygen, and the correct temperature. What you can actually do, some types of plants, you can plant them in the fall, like bulbs for tulips. You can plant them in the fall, and they won't grow until the temperature is right in the spring. Same thing with any kind of seeds. I just planted some lettuce and peas in my garden, and it's pretty cool right now. And my lettuce is germinated. My peas haven't. They probably need a little bit more of a warmer temperature before they germinate. So these are the things that a plant needs, or a seed needs, in order to germinate.